Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight is about theater and everything that comes with it, from its musicality to the spectacle. It all comes back to its performances. The conflicts play out, not behind the scenes, but here, for its audience. The stage of Revue Starlight is the story. I've discussed the power of visual storytelling ad nauseum in the past, especially in a medium like anime, but most often I've looked at cases where characters' emotions and inner thoughts are revealed through their body language and careful consideration to the gaze of the camera. Revue Starlight boasts a different sort of visual storytelling. Bombastic, buried in symbolism, but no less impactful. I've seen symbolism tossed around as a dirty word in some Annie circles, so let's dispel this notion right here. In particular, some have called Revue Starlight's use of it pretentious, or trying to give the appearance of deeper meaning where there is none. Alternatively, that it's needlessly ostentatious. Revue Starlight is a celebration of theatricality, its explosive histrionics fueled by the passion of its performers. The staging says as much about the players involved, the conflict at hand, as the script or the musical accompaniment. It cannot be separated from its commentary on the Takarazuka Revue, the all-female Japanese musical troupe that served as the series' biggest inspiration. Revue Starlight is as much a critique of Takarazuka as a tribute to it, highlighting the unforgiving nature of the top star system and the isolation and sacrifice that comes with it. The visual language of Takarazuka is apparent in Starlight, with a number of set pieces and recurring motifs plucked straight from that stage, such as the staircase or the framing of its traditional otokoyaku-musumeyaku pair. But its influence is inextricably linked to Starlight's cinematography, so our discussion will merit consideration of both. For a deeper dive into the Takarazuka framing of the series' narrative and character dynamics, I strongly suggest Andrea Ritsu's video series Between the Revues and Emily Rand's blog posts on the subject, as well as a few other videos I think cover the show in interesting ways. With that, let's pull back the curtain to reveal how Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight stages its story, exploring the different ways the auditions visually convey meaning, from conflict and power to love, and above all, shine. It's time for the main event. A supporter forging her own path, a friend hanging on to the past, a girl who blends in with the crowd, looking for her star. Each of Revue Starlight's auditions encapsulates the conflict within its players. Most episodes use the first half to give us the real-world setup to the anxiety swirling in their heads, where the latter half sees these fears play out on stage. Each revue is not only filled with imagery representing the characters involved, but actively changes the setup based on the shifting temperature of the fight. The stage externalizes the conflict going on in each of their minds. We see this brilliantly in the series' first character-focused audition, Juna and Kaden's Revue of Desire. Feeling cheated after her defeat in the first episode due to Kaden's surprise entry, the pressure to reach the top weighs heavily on Juna throughout the episode. She's the antithesis to Kaden. Her wishy-washy attitude drives Juna crazy. Her outburst at everyone's fawning admiration over Claudine and Maya's ability illustrates this. She won't let herself believe it's their raw talent that sets them apart, because how can she possibly hope to reach their level otherwise? To admit that is to accept defeat. Juna wants to believe in her own power, pushing herself well beyond her limits to make up that gap. She tells Kaden her dream is to someday find her star, saying she might not know it now, but the me looking up will be gone tomorrow. The Revue of Desire takes the shape of Juna's dream. Its stage reflects this battle within herself. It's littered with lenses and windows, obviously a physical trait representing Juna, but perhaps also symbolizing this yearning to break out of her shell. She strives to shine as the top star, but she's still locked away inside herself. In the audition, she hides behind these frames, opaque on the outside, but clear on the inside. She can see out, but others can't see in. Juna fights from the darkness, while Kaden is consistently in the stage light. highlighting Juna's toxic view of herself as someone no different from any other, stuck in the shadows of better performers, trying to reach the light of the star. The shot of identical golden mannequins with one wearing glasses in the center echoes how Juna believes she blends in with the crowd, undistinguishable from the rest. They look up at the stage, where the spotlights shine on the lead pair, the Otokoyaku and Musumeyaku. Juna herself is also framed looking towards the stage, not on it, her glasses on a seat in the audience. She even uses the mannequins as a distraction and shield from Kaden, again hiding within the others. For her, these fights are a winner-take-all. Singularity is a visual theme throughout the duel, particularly in the use of the spotlights. The two are fighting for one, a direct contrast to Kaden's desire to share the spotlight with Hikari. The purple light of the tiara is always covering Juna like a shroud, or towering over her. As she mentions how she can't keep up with Claudine and Maya, they are shown shining under it. Ultimately, Kaden strikes her down, leaving Juna underneath the fallen curtains, shielded from the light of the stage. But her defeat is not the end of her dream. Kaden lifts the curtains, finally bringing that light onto her. Juna wonders if Kaden's simple-minded approach, one of passion and glimmer, is the way to go after all, as she resolves to give everything she's got as long as she can. Juna no longer needs to look up to the top star, rather inward to her own. The episode ends with the starlight shining through the lenses of an arch, down onto both. Juna can see her star after all. The Revue of Desire is a perfect summation of how the audition's staging tells the story of the conflict within its characters, but this isn't the only visual dance at play here. It's also used to emphasize the conflict between them. In their battle to become the top star, the power dynamics between the characters inform this jockeying for position through the auditions. The light of the tiara is ever present. Nearly every single shot has this Where's Waldo purple orb somewhere. It constantly weighs on their minds. But that intangible, far-off light isn't all they reach for. No character embodies the power gap between a top star, the Otokoyaku, and those who chase after her more than Tendou Maya. In the third episode, Kaden learns just how much stands between her and her dream when Maya decisively cuts her down in a most comprehensive display of power. The Revue of Pride. From the opening moment, we see the gulf in power between the two. The spotlight shines on Kaden, confident in her ability to win. But immediately, it moves upward, far above her, to Maya, riding into the stage on a swan. Throughout the episode, Maya is represented by the Venus de Milo statue, or Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. When Claudine sees her, a paper airplane drifts into it. Maya's framed in a similar position as the statue when she's with her classmates, additionally separated from them by the wooden framework. The swan is one of Aphrodite's symbols. She's even featured riding one in some ancient Greek art. Another symbol is the dove. We see one hanging in Maya's room before the Revue and along the staircase during. From there, all the spotlights converge to a single shimmering point with Maya in the center. The stage lowers with a chandelier sporting the pink-purple light of the top star and a backboard of a grand staircase behind them, leading up to the tower. With top star Maya coming down to fight Kaden, she has brought its flame with her. However, at the onset of the fight, Kaden cuts the chandelier down, changing the color from the top star's purple to her and Hikari's own blue, as she attempts to reclaim it for herself. Kaden believes her steadfast desire to make her promise a reality will be enough to overcome Maya's power. But Maya cuts her flame down. The stage lifts Maya towards the top, near the star, as a long staircase forms beneath. Flames erupt behind her, transforming from Kaden's blue to the deep pink of the top star, before a golden swan, again that imagery of Aphrodite, appears behind her. Height plays a significant role in the duel. Kaden is always looking up at Maya. The verticality of the stage frames her as a summit Kaden attempts to reach, but never gets any closer to. Several shots emphasize this physical distance the stage creates between them, all from Kaden's angled perspective beneath Maya. No matter how much Kaden attempts to make the climb, the stairs only pull her further apart, growing higher and higher. Here we see explicit Takarazuka iconography, with a staircase that emphasizes the brilliance of the Otokoyaku. Maya makes it clear to Kaden there can only be one star. To obtain it requires great sacrifice. Claudine cast it away, she says, as the stairs close around the Golden Swan. Earlier in the episode, Maya reflects on what Claudine said to her at the 99th Starlight play. I haven't lost, while she looks over the group photo where Claudine has a stern, determined expression. The chase for the top is a lonely climb, just as Maya's position there is equally isolated. This is why Maya respects Claudine as her competitor. She's seen the sacrifice Claudine has put into it, which Kaden arrogantly thought she could surpass on belief alone. Maya lunges towards Kaden as the stairs light up before her. In a display of her true strength, she utterly defeats her. Kaden falls backwards as the stairs collapse inward, sending her sliding down towards another swan figure. Looking up, the spotlights illuminate the path before her, to the top star, to Tendou Maya, now steeper and further than ever before. Again we cut to Claudine, where both her and Maya reiterate their resolve. I haven't lost. Even alone, I am a star. As Maya delivers the finishing blow, standing proudly at position 0, the spotlight projects her silhouette onto the curtain behind her, as large as the tower itself. There can only be one star. Maya has dealt Kaden a harsh reality check, exposing her hubris for thinking she could so easily surpass those who poured themselves into it far longer than she has. If Maya represents the system of Takarazuka, the Revue of Pride reinforces how far Kaden has to go to overcome it, to break the cycle. Ultimately, this struggle for power is not the only driving force of the dynamics between Revue Starlight's characters. Be it Maya and Claudine inspiring the other to aim higher, or Futaba and Kaoruko learning how to support each other while not at the expense of themselves, these relationships are rooted in feelings of love that informs their stage, whether they're returned or not. The chase for the top star is an unforgiving fight. The stage of the auditions is inevitably a place where the dreams of all but one of its performers will go unfulfilled. Repeatedly, the show tells us the spotlight is made for one. The auditions are set up to reward only the strongest. There is no room for sentimentality. Or is there? Love is a critical motivating factor for Starlight's cast, of themselves, of one another, of the stage. But in such a cruel environment, these feelings are tested again and again. Kaoruko and Futaba's relationship ultimately proves stronger because of it. In losing their Revue, Futaba seemingly sees a return to her support role, but importantly, she finds a strength in it, not lagging behind Kaoruko, but standing beside her as an equal. She doesn't sacrifice her own feelings to lift Kaoruko up, holding on to that determination. Kaoruko, meanwhile, begins to carry her own weight, learning to stand on her feet herself. The same can be said for the other pairings. Claudine and Maya, Kaden and Hikari, Nana and Juna. All of their relationships grow from the experience in some way, despite the system's inherent effort to separate them. Yet, one character feels left behind by all this. Lacking the self-confidence to see her own shine, she relies not on the eye of the top star to inspire her, but the eye of her affection. With a decidedly different tone from every other audition, Mahiru and Kaden's Revue of Jealousy is not so much a fight as a call for attention. Mahiru sees the radiance of everyone else in practice, most notably Kaden, who's now genuinely doing her best to improve. She envisions the two practicing the leads together with Radiance bursting, but when she snaps back to reality, it was Hikari practicing with her after all. Mahiru believes her relationship with Kaden is her shine, that she has none of her own. As Kaden's promise to Hikari connects them, Mahiru sees this as Hikari taking Kaden's glimmer away from her, leaving her with nothing, at the bottom in the dark. Thus, the Revue of Jealousy is exactly that. Mahiru fights for Kaden's affections, while Kaden ultimately hopes to make Mahiru realize her love for the stage, why she became a stage girl. The revue opens with Mahiru standing in the center of the stage, star-shaped spotlights flanking her, while hers is standard. It begins as a one-actor play, with Mahiru performing the roles of both herself and Kaden, sparkles springing forth as their cutouts dance together. This is what Mahiru sees. Kaden lights her up with her shine. Eventually, the stage takes the shape of a baseball diamond as a still confused Kaden gets batted around. The entire thing is playful and fun. The stage's set pieces call to mind a children's play made of crudely put together backboards and cutouts, a stark contrast to the detailed, larger-than-life scenery of the previous auditions. Mahiru doesn't want to fight or hurt Kaden. She wants to dance with her, like this. As the two bounce around stage, they interrupt the other auditions, cutting through the serious, heavy tone even further, while showing how little attention Mahiru's paying to the others and their fight for the top star. Eventually, Mahiru corners Kaden and speaks her feelings, how she wants to take care of her again as the double blue spotlights shine behind them. As Kaden tells her she remembered her promise to Hikari, we get a shot of the two of them cornered by Mahiru and Claudine, with a wood tower separating them in the center. The symmetry of the shot driving home how they fight together for the same goal. Finally, the stage morphs into the academy, made of cutouts with cat aliens invading, representative of Hikari's arrival disrupting Mahiru and Kaden's relationship. On the other side is a backdrop of the two sitting together reading. A basket filled with glimmer rests on top of a sign that reads, Mai and Kaden-chan's beautiful friendship, again illustrating how Mahiru believes Kaden gives her radiance. This whole time, she reiterates how she only wants to be by Kaden's side. She has no other dream. But Kaden tells her she is shining, that she does have something she wants to be. She too wants to be a star. As she says this, Kaden pushes Mahiru away from the backdrop and into the spotlights, knocking down the basket of glimmer, which now shines upon her. In the end, the Revue of Jealousy reinforces one of the series' predominant themes, finding your self-worth in a system that seeks to mitigate it. Building off of Kaden and Juna's duel in particular, there's more to the stage than the brilliance of the top star. The auditions seek to diminish their individual shine by pitting the characters against each other in a stage made for one. But the light of the top star and the light of the stage girl are not mutually exclusive. Each has their own star, invaluable and unique to them. The chase for that unattainable ideal blinds each to what makes them special and perpetuates this vicious cycle. That to be a top star, to bask in that spotlight, is to take the spotlight away from others, to steal their shine. Across all of its auditions, this is Revue Starlight's ultimate stage, the stage of Radiance. Two characters understand their tragic fate and the price they must pay to shine. Hikari and Nana. Hikari lost her radiance in the London auditions, stolen by the girl who became top star. Without it, her love, passion, and glimmer for the stage left as well. During the recital at the London school, she lifts her sword in the play's climax, but cannot steady her hand, as the stage is beset by flames. A giant burning hand forms from the rubble looming over her, representing the betrayal of her strong right arm in both the play and personally, while lending the scene this claustrophobic sense of dread, as if the hand plucks the radiance directly from her. As she lowers her sword, the lights cut off. Her stage is finished. But Hikari is given another chance. What will the stage girl who lost everything do? The giraffe wants to see a stage of destiny no one could predict, perhaps complacent with the endless loop Seisho's top star has kept them in. Nana is desperate to reclaim the shine of the 99th Starlight play. She knows what befalls them in their competition and hopes to protect everyone from it by bringing them back here. Fitting, Nana's line in the play is about the cycle of despair repeating itself. Nana is trying to shield the group from the fate that befell Claire and Flora, their eternal separation. The two who carry the burden of the auditions alone meet in the Revue of Solitude. Picking up right where the London recital left off, a curtain engulfed in flames brings us into the scene. The spotlight opens on Hikari, as she holds her dagger to her throat, lifts it skyward, and drops it down. only stopping it before it hits the ground. She betrayed her promise to Kaden, suffered the punishment as a result, but hasn't lost faith completely. Here, she rises to the stage in the same way as Kaden appears in her Revues. This is what she fights for now. From the smoke machines to the flame props, the set itself matches the play of the London Academy, where she lost the radiance she seeks to reclaim. We get the exact same shot of the hand engulfed in flames encasing her, now with Nana raising her sword towards her. For Nana, Hikari is the outsider, the disruptive force who threatens to break the cycle of the 99th Starlight. Just as Kaden tells Claudine, Hikari tells Nana she fights for Kaden, for their promised destiny. Echoing the earlier scene, she raises her dagger, hand shaking. But where she'd forgotten her reason for becoming a stage girl before, here, when she remembers Kaden and the moment she was born as a stage girl, she steadies her hand. After fending Nana off, the red spotlights disappear, replaced by Kaden and Hikari's blue, raining down onto her dagger. The gathered light transforms the weapon closer to its original form. Hikari regains her radiance by remembering their promise, when she no longer fights for the top star, but her dream with Kaden. The Revue transitions to Act 2, as Hikari is reborn. Tokyo Tower falls down onto the stage. Hikari is literally bringing their promise down to her from its unattainable height, sending enormous blue waves crashing all around them. The stage girl's radiance represents her self-worth, her passion for the stage, her star. The Revue of Solitude emphatically builds on the idea of this radiance not as something bestowed upon them by some external power, nor achieved through reaching this vague image of perfection, but found within themselves. Hikari loses her love of the stage because she forgets why she yearns for it. That question is at the heart of Revue Starlight. Why do you perform? When the alluring glare of the brightest star ensnares them, they lose sight of their individual brilliance, much like in the Starlight play. When Claire and Flora reach the summit of the tower, the two are separated forever. The light blinds Flora as she falls from the tower, while Claire regains her lost memories only to be filled with sorrow at their parting. There can only be one top star. As they all reach for it, the others will be left below. At the end of their audition, Nana reminds Hikari she will eventually have to fight Kaden. Starlight is a tragedy. Their parting is inevitable. It frames Kaden's dream to share the stage with Hikari as counter to the system. To reach the top, Kaden will have to go through Hikari, not with her. The ways in which the auditions pit the characters against each other reveals the conflicts within and between them. But more than that, it requires they choose between their feelings for one another and their dream. The top star system is ultimately selfish, forcing them to conform to the desires of the audience, where they perform not for their love of the stage, nor each other, but this idyllic image. Some are doomed from the very start. Take Futaba, for instance. If the top star represents the otokoyaku from Takarazuka, she will never reach it. Physically, she doesn't match the profile of an otokoyaku, far too diminutive. Her loss to Kaoruko, a more suitable candidate based on stature, exhibits how fruitless her efforts are. Revue Starlight is a commentary on how the system, and most of all, the audience, overvalues the stage's brightest star. In a blink and you'll miss it moment, the teacher in episode 2 gets at the core of the show. Having a complete picture of the stage is the most important thing to understand. Your singular role is represented here by the smallest circle. By understanding the big picture of the entire stage, you'll be able to see your own role more objectively. A stage play is a group effort. To stare skyward only at the top ignores each individual part that goes into making it whole. If you pluck a small star, you will gain a small amount of happiness. If you pluck a large star, you will obtain a great wealth. If you pluck them both, you will obtain an eternal wish. The special stage isn't the top stars or the audiences. It's Kaden's, one where they all shine together. Her selflessness allows her to upend the system and reveal this new stage overflowing with stardust, where a flower of love blooms gracefully. One by one, she breaks each of the other girls out of the more selfish desires the spotlight thrusts upon them. Juna now seeks her own star. Mahiru learns not to rely on others to value herself. Kaoruko and Futaba stand as equals on the same stage. Nana comes to understand the finite nature of this moment and appreciates how they might burn brighter still. Claudine and Maya feel their passion for the stage, or they'll continue to chase after their best selves. In the 100th Starlight, with Kaden's new ending, we see their hands join like in all the other editions, only now they aren't below the stars, but right in front, grabbing hold of them. Revue Starlight conveys this theme so effectively because of its theatricality. We've seen this performance play out across a number of stages, such that seeing the cycle of tragedy broken feels like a culmination of each of the girls' growth. It seamlessly communicates its story visually, musically, and verbally, making maximum use of the medium in a way quite unlike anything else I've seen. That is why I love it so much. Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight is a stage itself, driven by the conflicts, love, and radiance of its actors.